Hi everybody, happy Indian Independence Day. This week we have a very special agenda planned because it marks the end of India's 74th year of independence, the beginning of its 75th, and ANN News Kids' 76th episode. We don't have our extra fun segment this week, but we have our summary of the news, the country of the week, which is India, and Sanvi was the first to guess it, congratulations, as well as the Priyar career, where we'll be talking to K. Nandini Singla, the Indian High Commissioner in Mauritius. I really hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment below because we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Afghanistan, the Taliban is now advancing due to the withdrawal of countries like USA. After more than 20 years of military operations, UK and Germany have limited their people in the embassies in Afghanistan to the lowest possible, and Denmark and Norway have completely shut down their embassies there. In the past month, more than 1,000 people have died and 250,000 have had to relocate because of the conflict. The Taliban captured many cities on Friday, including the second largest city in Afghanistan, Kandahar. They now control about a third of Afghanistan. In Greece, more than 150 wildfires have been recorded because of one of the country's worst wildfires. They were all over the country, but thankfully they are under control now. More than 3 people died, and many were injured too. In the Italian island Sicily, there was a record high temperature in Europe of 48.8 degrees Celsius. It led to a series of wildfires and 3 deaths. Last week, Turkey experienced some devastating wildfires, but now they are facing some horrible floods which have already led to 30 deaths. In Hubei, China, a red alert was declared because of the floods that led to 6,000 people being evacuated, as well as 20 deaths.
So could you start by introducing yourself?
My name is K. Nandini Singla. I'm the High Commissioner of India to Mauritius. In other words, I'm the Ambassador of India to Mauritius. Basically, an ambassador and high commissioner, we do the same thing. It's just a different nomenclature. When we go from one Commonwealth country to another, we're called high commissioners. Mm-hmm. And when we go to a country which is not a Commonwealth country, we're called ambassadors. And a Commonwealth country is one that had been ruled by the British Empire, right? You know that. Yeah. So I'm the ambassador of India here. I'm called High Commissioner because I'm coming from India to Mauritius. We are both Commonwealth countries.
Yeah. Thank you. And can you tell us some more about what you do as the High Commissioner?
Yes. Essentially, like any ambassador, my job is to be the connect between our two countries, between India and Mauritius. What does that mean? It means that politically, I facilitate the relationship between the two governments, the government of India and the government of Mauritius. Mm-hmm. And the idea is to strengthen the relationship. The job of every ambassador is to have good relations between the two countries and different spheres of activities. So another important job that I do is to enhance the economic engagement between India and Mauritius, how to increase trade, investment, engagement between our two businesses, which is very important.
Wow.
And also, you know that the relationship between India and Mauritius is very special. It goes back to even before our countries became independent. We shared the common currency. We both used the Indian rupee at that point. We were a part of the British Empire. And we have very, very close ties of blood, kinship, ancestry, culture, language, tradition, religion. So it's a very special partnership that the two countries have. And my job as the High Commissioner is also to enhance this special relationship.
Wow.
We have hundreds of socio-cultural organizations here in Mauritius that promote Indian languages, Indian culture, Indian festivals, Indian traditions. So we work with them. And we also do a lot of collaborative initiatives in spheres like education. We give scholarships to Mauritian children to study in India. We also do training programs for people from various professions. It's called the iTech program. Every year, a lot of Mauritians go to India for that. And even the reverse, we have Indian students who are studying in Mauritius. And we also cooperate through institutions like the Mahatma Gandhi Institute, where we have a chair for Indian studies like Sanskrit, philosophy. Then we also have the Rabindranath Tagore Institute that promotes Indian culture. We have our own Indian Cultural Center here, which is affiliated to our High Commission. It's called the Indira Gandhi Center for Indian Culture. So we have a very busy agenda of dances, music. For example, our cultural center teaches Mauritians how to play the tabla, the Indian percussion instrument, yoga, dance, Kathak, for example, even singing. We have many vocal classical traditions in India. We have lots of Mauritian students who love to learn all of this. They come to the center, they learn all of this. That's also part of the job that I do. It's part of the High Commission's work. And we also collaborate. We have cooperation in areas like strategic cooperation, security, defense. And I don't know if you know, but the official language of India is Hindi, and the World Hindi Secretariat is located here in Mauritius.
Oh, we didn't know that. Wow.
Exactly. That's the beauty of the special relationship that the two countries have. It's not in India, it is in Mauritius. So it's the hub to promote and propagate Hindi all over the world, not just Mauritius. And the World Hindi Secretariat was jointly set up by India and by Mauritius.
Wow.
So that's the broad gamut of what I do.
Wow, that's quite a few things.
Yeah, and that's really interesting. Thank you.
And what brought you into this sector? Could you tell us a bit more about your journey?
It's interesting because I grew up in very small towns in Karnataka, in South India. I'd not even seen a big city till I was in college. And there was nothing to do in this small town that I was growing up. So there was something called the NCC, the National Cadet Corps. You wear uniforms, you're trained in firing, you have to run cross country for 3 kilometers, you have to learn. It's like a paramilitary organization of students who are trained like Army people or Navy people or the Air Force cadets. So I joined the NCC. And that took me on a wild journey where for almost a year, I was doing different camps in different parts of India. And finally, I was sent to Delhi to compete for the Best Cadet of India trophy, which is given out by the Prime Minister of India. I got the Prime Minister's silver medal in the year 1990, presented a card of honor to our Prime Minister, who was Mr. VP Singh at that time. And then some of us were sent to Canada as part of a youth exchange program between India and Canada. So I was 18 years old, and that visit changed my whole perception of what I wanted to do with my life. I went from one of the least developed parts of India to the most developed place in the world, Vancouver. And I spent 4.5 months there. We taught in a school. We worked in a women's health center. And I realized that although our countries are so different, the human experience is essentially the same. We all want the same things. And so I decided to become a diplomat. And I wrote the exam, which you need to pass to become a member of the Indian Foreign Service, which is India's diplomatic corps, the IFS. I passed the exam and I became a career diplomat of India. And since then, I've served in different countries. And right now, I'm in Mauritius.
Wow. That's a very interesting journey.
Yeah, that's incredible. Thank you. And what do you enjoy the most about being the Indian High Commissioner of Mauritius?
Yes. Frankly, I would say what I like best about my job is the sense of purpose, meaning, and personal fulfillment it gives me.
Yeah.
You can do a job for various reasons, but if you find one where you feel like you're leaving the world a little better than you found it,
Yeah.
it makes you get up with joy in the morning. It makes you excited about another day at work. And the other thing I really enjoy about my job is that every day is different. There's no set routine to an ambassador's life.
Yeah.
The world is changing. The issues in the relationship are changing. Every day you learn something new. You meet new people from different walks of life. And one of the privileges of being a diplomat is that you meet the creme de la creme of the society in which you are living. You meet fascinating people. You learn from them all the time. And the sense of purpose and meaning that I was alluding to, it is that everything you do with a very positive intention. The intention is to bring the people of the two countries closer, the governments of the two countries closer,
Yeah.
and the final eventual mission is to have a peaceful, prosperous, happy world.
Yeah.
And if you can feel like you're contributing to it in however small a manner, to this very, very cherished ideal, I think it gives a lot of meaning and satisfaction in what you do. And on the flippant side, one of the best things I enjoy in my work is being able to read the newspaper or attend a party and say, I'm working. Because that's part of our work too,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you don't have many jobs where you can attend events and receptions and dinners and high teas and say, well, it's work. But that's one enjoyable part of our work too. You meet lovely people, you get to interact with them, you become a better human being, you become a more evolved person, in my view, with the diversity of people you get to know in our lives.
Wow, that's just wow. Thank you. And could you tell us about the significance of India's Independence Day?
Sure, it's a very good question because we are having a very special program called Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, which was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, on the 12th of March this year. The 12th of March is very significant because it was the day on which Mahatma Gandhi led the Dandi March, or the Salt March, the Salt Satyagraha movement, which gave a big boost to India's freedom struggle. And that marks 75 weeks before India's 75 years of independence, which will be celebrated on 15th August next year, 2022.
Yeah.
So we've already started celebrations for next year, and we will be celebrating 1 year after that, till 15th August 2023. So the whole world is going to see celebrations and festivities of India's freedom, 75 years of independence, through our embassies in India itself, as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. And in Mauritius, it's doubly interesting because 12th March also happens to be the National Day of Mauritius.
Yes.
Because Mahatma Gandhi visited Mauritius. He inspired the people, yes. And so the date of the Dandi March was chosen as the National Day of Mauritius. So for us, for the High Commission of India in Mauritius, it's doubly significant. And we're going to be having a string of events to celebrate 75 years of India's independence. It's called India at 75. And we plan to do a big festival of India, which will include a festival called Food Festival, a film festival, music festival, dance festival. You know, India has a lot to offer. So it's easy to do something like this, especially in a country like Mauritius, which is so welcoming, so diverse, so open to new cultures, and where we already have so many Indian origin people who are attached emotionally to their origins, who love Indian traditions and would like an opportunity to celebrate them. So we're really looking forward to it.
Wow. Could you please tell us a little bit about India's journey that has already been completed and some of it that's yet to come?
Well, India's journey, if you ask me, is the story of the biggest transformation in human history. And given India's population, it's 1/6 of humanity. And the transformation that you see today is also one of the biggest business opportunities in the free world. It's amazing because we've come such a long way in 75 years. 75 years is the lifespan of a human being. And for a country, it's a very short period of time. It's a very, very small period for a country to evolve and grow. And yet in 75 years, we have come out of poverty as a third world country to become the world's 5th largest economy. I think that's an amazing achievement in such a short span of time, right? We have overtaken the economies of Russia, Italy, France, Brazil. We are getting very close to UK and Germany. We'll be overtaking them very soon. And in the next 9 years, we will be one of the top economies of the world. Today, we are a $3 trillion economy. We're going to be a $10 trillion economy in the next 10 years. Wow. And that's a tremendous transformation. Just the scope, the scale, the pace of the change in India represents change of 1/6 of humanity and therefore a transformation of the world in some ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Thank you so much. And what is your advice to kids?
My advice to kids is probably something that you've already heard from other people before me who have spoken on your program. It's to follow your heart. Don't listen to your parents. Don't listen to your teachers. Listen to your heart. Shakespeare said something, to thine own self be true. You can say whatever you want to others, but if you're honest with yourself, you will know what is it that you enjoy doing, truly enjoy doing. What is it that gives you joy? Usually it's something that you're better at than the others. Usually it's something that comes more easily to you than it comes to the others.
Yeah.
It's also called a talent. It's called gift. Find that, because each one of us has a gift. The trick is to find the gift and to make it into a profession.
Wow.
And if you can do that, you will not only have a happy life, you will have a successful life. You will have a prosperous life. Because if you do something that you enjoy, you will give your everything. You will do your best. And usually when you do your best, you're also successful. And when you're successful, you'll be paid well. And when you're paid well, you're successful, you're also well known. You become famous, maybe. So don't go the other way. Don't choose a profession or a career for the money, for the success in other people's eyes, or for the projection in society. All this will come your way if you're true to yourself, you follow your passion. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. For example, and usually the clue to that passion is your childhood dreams. When you were a child, what was the thing that excited you? For me, I remember I would stand in front of the mirror and dance or give performances to an imaginary audience. So growing up, I realized I like connecting with people,
Yeah.
connecting at some level. So the options I had in front of me was to become an entertainer, to join films, which I seriously considered at some point because I love acting, was to become a politician, was to become a journalist, or a diplomat. And I actually carefully looked at all these options. I wanted a steady career. I wanted something which is also fulfilling from a larger point of view, the sense of meaning and purpose that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And so I zeroed in on diplomacy. So even for you and every other young person, your passion can translate into a variety of career choices. And in the generation that you are growing up, you will probably not have a career of 30, 35 years like we do. You'll keep changing jobs. So you can explore different facets of your passion, but
Yeah.
know your passion, know what excites you, know what gives you joy, and make that your career. That would be my advice to kids. Make life fun.
Thank you so much for this. It was very nice. Thank you for taking your time again.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Anya. Thank you, Nitya. You're amazing girls, and I wish you and all your friends and all the viewers of your channel all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
L'Inde est un pays d'Asie du Sud. C'est le deuxième plus peuplé pays du monde avec une population de 1,4 milliard d'habitants. C'est la plus grande démocratie du monde et on prétend que le jeu d'échecs était né là-bas il y a 1500 ans. La cuisine indienne est peut-être la plus ancienne continuée cuisine préparée qu'on sait dans l'histoire. Le tigre du Bengale est l'animal national de l'Inde. Le pont Chenab est le plus haut pont ferroviaire du monde. Le pont sur la rivière Chenab à Jammu est à 1178 pieds au-dessus de l'eau. Le jeu Snakes and Ladders est originaire d'Inde et Varanasi est l'un des plus anciens lieux habitués du monde. Selon la mythologie hindoue, le seigneur Shiva a trouvé cette ville il y a 5000 ans. L'Inde est le plus grand producteur du lait du monde. En Inde, il n'y a pas une seule langue, mais actuellement 23 langues officielles. Bollywood est le plus grand producteur de films du monde, même plus grand que Hollywood et Nollywood, qui est nigérien. L'Inde compte le plus grand nombre de végétariens du monde. Et le yoga est originaire d'Inde et est populaire depuis 5000 ans. L'eau sur la Lune a été découverte par des Indiens et le shampooing a été inventé en Inde. Le calcul et la trigonométrie étaient inventés en Inde aussi. Et l'Inde a introduit le système de nombres décimaux et le numéro 0.